ಯಾವುದು?
ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಹಾಂ
ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಪವರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅದ
ಹಾಂ ಹಾಂ
ಮಾಡಿ
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅವಾಗ.
ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಅವಾಗ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಬರೋಬ್ಬರ.
ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಹಲೋ, ಆಮ್ ಐ ಆಡಿಬಲ್? Screen is visible? Okay, fine, fine, fine. I think there is some change in WebEx and all. Okay, that's good. Current slide. Okay. Now, in the last class, we have seen this CIDR, right? Classless interdomain routing. Okay, what is CIDR and how aggregation of aggregation of different routes using CIDR takes place. So that we have seen. So see, one thing let me just repeat it, right? So the several networks, several small networks or several IPs can be can be grouped together, can be grouped into a single block. Okay, that is what is called as aggregation, right? As you see here, so 128.112.128.0/24. So likewise, 128.112.135.24.0.24/24. Okay, so now if we just see, so all these are contiguous networks. All these are contiguous networks, right? So since they are contiguous networks, and one more thing is, so then their total number should be, it is power of 2. Okay, it is power of 2. Okay, so now if you just see from here, it is still here. Okay, so it is always power of 2. So then they can be aggregated together. So how do we aggregate? How do we aggregate? We have seen that. Okay, what is the procedure? Every decimal number here, you should write it in binary. 128, you write it in binary because 128 and 112 they are common. You need not worry about that because it is common for all networks. Then 128 you write in binary, 129 in binary, 130 in binary, 131, 132 up to 135 in binary. Dot zero, it is again common. Now what you have to do next? You have to go for longest prefix match. That you should remember. Longest prefix match. See, 128 is matching in all the networks. So 112 is also matching in all the networks. In this third decimal number, 128, so only few bits they match. So how many number of bits they match? You should see that. Okay. Okay, suppose assume that 128 means maybe it is the only the first bit. Okay, if from the left hand side it is first bit. Okay, because it is 2 raised to 7, 2 raised to 7 it is. If you start from 0, 2 raised to 7. So this is 1, first bit is 1 and last bit is 1, 1 0 0 0 0 0 1. Okay, so like this, so 135. Now, if you just see, what you have to do is, you have to go for which all the bits, so they are matching, okay, which all the bits they are matching, okay. So, those bits, okay, so the common bits, okay, the bits that are matching, so you should take it as, what you should take it as, can you tell me? After going for a longest prefix match, what you should do? See how many bits are matching here. In the last class you have done it. I had asked you to work it out. So 128 you have written it. So 1, so it is 128.12. 128 is 1 followed by 7 zeros. So 129, 1 followed by 6 zeros and 1. 130, 1 followed by 5 zeros, 1 0 like that. You have written it. So how many bits are matching? How many bits were matching? Your last class you had worked it out. Is it only the first bit? Hello? I'm asking something. Hello? I'm asking you something. What is that? Yes? I'm asking you something. What is that? 2 bits. Okay, first 2 bits are matching. Okay, so that means, so now what is your CIDR? What is your SuperNet ID or aggregation ID? What is your aggregation ID? What is your aggregation ID in this case? Yes, what is your aggregation ID? So 128.112 dot, how many bits are matching? I don't know what you are doing. I don't understand. See 128. See 128 dot 128.112. It is same for all. Dot 128. So 128 means 1 followed by 6 zeros, 7 zeros, dot 0. Then one next one. So 128.112, it is common. 129. 129 means 1 0 0. So how many zeros? So 6 zeros and a 1, right? And then 129, 129, 130, last next one, 1 0 0 0 0 and 1 0, right? That is 120, that is 130. Then 131, 1 0 0 0 1 1, right? Okay, so how many bits are matching? So lastly 135. So 128, 128 followed by 0. So then 128, 7 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Okay, so that means, so leaving the first 3 bits from the right side, 5 bits are matching, is it not? Yes or no? I don't know what you are doing. Yes, how many bits are matching in the third decimal number? In the third decimal number, how many bits are matching after you convert them to binary? 128 you convert it to binary, so it is 1 followed by 7 zeros. 1 followed by 7 zeros. Then 129, 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 1. 130, 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0, right? So then 131, 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 1. 132, 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0. 133, 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 1. 133, 134, 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 0. 135, 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 1. Okay, so you should write them one below the other and go for a longest match. See how many bits are common. See, I don't know what you are doing. How many bits are matching? That's what I am asking you. How many bits are matching? Have you done it? Very difficult. If you don't work it out, you will not follow it. How many bits are matching? Just tell me, how many bits are matching? How many bits are same in all the 8? How many bits are same? 6 or 5? First 5, no. 128, 129, 1, first 5. Okay. So that means, so 128 is same, 112 is also same, and 5 bits in the third decimal number, they are same. They are same. So starting from the sixth bit, there is a change. So the longest prefix, so it is for how many bits then? So 8 bits of first decimal number, 8 bits of second decimal number, then 5 bits of third decimal number. So it is totally 21. Okay. So the SuperNet ID for this is first this one you write 128 first IP address 128.112.128.0/21. So that is your SuperNet ID. That is your SuperNet ID or the block ID you can say. Okay, because all these networks you are blocking them. You are just aggregating them into a single block. Okay. So the total block ID is 128.112.128.0/21. How do you get 21? Because so the first 21 bits from the left side they are same. That is what is longest prefix match. Yeah. Okay. So so you try to solve more problems based on this, right? So let me just move to the next one. So this is what, okay, before. Okay, next we move on to address resolution protocol, ARP. Okay. So now what is ARP? ARP is address resolution protocol. The main task of it is, now suppose assume that uh, okay, at SDMCET, so there is one router, okay, border router, right? So now any packet that goes out or any packet that comes in, it has to go through that particular router only, right? It has to go through that particular router only. Now, whenever a packet comes in with some IP address, right? So what the router will do? See, please remember, now if you just look into an IP address, if you look into an IP address, any IP address, right? So there are two parts in it. Which are the two parts? Please answer me. Which are the two parts in the IP address? Which are the two parts in the IP address? Please be fast. Which are the two parts in the IP address? IP address can be broken down into two parts. Which are the two parts? Network ID and host ID. Network ID and host ID. Right? Okay. So now what normally it happens here is, right, this network ID, the network ID part is used for routing. It is used for routing. Okay. Now host ID is not used. So what is done is normally host ID part is masked. Okay, host ID part is masked using a network subnet mask. Okay, we'll see that later. Okay, so using subnet mask, the host ID part is masked. Only the network ID part will be used for routing. Will be used for routing. Okay, now based on that network ID, the packet comes to your router. Okay, SDMCT router. Okay, are you getting my point? Now it has come till SDMCT network. Now for internal routing, okay, to which host the packet has to be delivered. Now what we need to know, for delivering the packet to, now so far using the network ID which is part of the IP address. Okay, using the network ID which is part of the IP address, using that network ID, the packet has come to SDMCT network. Okay, it has come till the router that connects to SDMCT network. Now, once it comes to SDMCT network, okay, the router has to deliver that packet to a particular, tell me, to a particular, yes, the packet has come from anywhere it might have come. Okay, the packet has come to up to SDMCET router. Now finally it has to be delivered to whom? See, in SDMCET, maybe there are 100 different hosts. Yes or no? Okay, in SDMCET, there are 100 hosts. In SDMCET network, there are 100 different hosts. So the packet has come up to SDMCET router. Okay, now that packet has to be delivered to a particular host. So there are 100 hosts. There are 100 hosts, right? Now, now the final delivery, okay? So it has to be delivered to a particular host, okay? So for delivering it to a particular host or the final delivery, what we need to do is we need to go for a physical address. We have to get the physical address of the host ID. Okay, so based on the IP address, whatever the IP address the packet has, okay, based on the IP address of the host, so we need to get the physical address. We need to get the physical address. Okay, because if you know, so IP layer routing, the job of routing is done by IP. So then the below layer, the data link layer, it deals with which layer? It deals with frames. Okay, that means, so in frame, what is there? The physical address or the MAC address is there, right? So for a given IP address, the router has to obtain the particular MAC address of the host. Are you getting my point? Please try to understand this. Please try to understand. Okay. Now a packet has, using the network ID of the IP address, okay, the packet has come to the router, SDMCT router. Now that packet has to be delivered, finally delivered to a particular host, right? So now the IP layer job is over. Now it is the next layer, that is data link layer. It deals with frames, okay, and MAC address is part of the frame. Okay, now how, so to construct a frame, what is required? MAC address is required. So far we just know, because so far we are dealing with the logical address. Okay, IP address is logical address. Okay, this logical address has to be mapped to physical address. Logical address has to be mapped to physical address. So who has to do it? The router has to do it. Okay, the router has to map a particular IP address into a physical address. So physical address is nothing but your MAC address. So why MAC address is required? Because it has to construct a frame. Because a packet is should be converted into a frame. Okay. So to construct a frame, MAC address is required. So what is the procedure of getting MAC address for a given IP address? So that is what is address resolution protocol, ARP. Address resolution protocol, right? So it maps IP address to physical address. Okay. So destination host. So that for the destination host, so we need to get the particular IP ARP address. Using ARP, we need to get the MAC address. Okay. So what we, so encode the physical address in each in host part of the IP address. So take, now what ARP does is ARP is a protocol which is running at IP layer, IP layer. So a table of IP to physical address bindings. Okay. So at the router, what is, what happens is, so there is a table maintained. Okay. That is a lookup table for these IP addresses. So these are the physical addresses like that. Okay. So table of IP to physical address binding. Okay. On the left side, you have IP addresses, okay, that are connected to SDMCET network, okay, and their corresponding physical addresses, okay. Now suppose, assume that the router doesn't know the physical address of a particular host. So then what it will do? The router will just broadcast that packet. Okay, the router will just broadcast that packet, and so to whichever IP address, it is meant to, okay, whichever host is having that IP address, so it will respond back. It will respond back, giving its physical address. Okay. So that is how the router will collect the physical address of the host. Okay. So once the physical address of the host is collected, it is entered into the table, this lookup table. Okay. Please remember, on the left side you have the IP addresses of the different hosts that are connected to the network, and on the right side of the table you have all the physical addresses. Okay. Now, see, that's how. So broadcast request if IP address is not in the table. Okay. So now what happens, whenever a packet comes in, the router will check whether, so for a given IP address, the physical address is it available? If it is available, then what happens? The router will construct a frame and then deliver it. It will deliver it. Okay. So otherwise, it broadcasts. That means to all the hosts in the network, it broadcasts that packet. Okay. So then whichever host is having that IP address, only that will respond. Only the target machine respond with its physical address. So then it is entered into the table. Yes. Any doubts here? What is the necessity of mapping an IP address to the physical address? You tell me now. What is the necessity of mapping an IP address to a MAC address or the physical address? So far I discussed the same thing. Okay. What is my question is, what is the necessity of mapping a logical address into a physical address? Hello? What is the necessity of mapping? What is the necessity of mapping physical address, sorry, logical address to physical address? Yes? No, that is not the answer. Think it, no? See, please remember the protocol stack. Please remember the protocol stack. Okay. So IP layer, below the IP layer, you have the network interface layer or the data link layer. Okay. Now the routing is the task of network layer. So by using routing, the packet has come up to our network. Now that packet has to be delivered to host. So that means, so which is the which is the layer below IP layer? Please try to understand this. Which is the layer below this network layer? Which is the layer below the network layer? It is data link layer. Okay. So data link layer deals with a frame. Yes or no? Try to understand this. So data link layer deals with a frame. Okay. So the frame header, what it contains? Frame header contains MAC address. Frame header contains MAC address. Now for a given packet, we need to construct a frame. Okay. IP packet has to be converted into a frame. So to construct the frame, MAC address is required. But we only know the physical IP address. We only know the IP address. So for a given IP address, we need to get the MAC address to construct the frame. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? For a given packet, a packet has to be converted into a frame. So how do you convert a packet into a frame? By attaching frame header to the packet or by encapsulating the packet in a frame header. So what are the different fields in the frame header? If you just see, so MAC address is there. MAC address is part of the frame header. But we don't know the MAC address, but we only know the IP address. So for a given IP address, we need to get the MAC address. How do we get it? By using address resolution protocol. Is that clear? So once we get the MAC address, so then for a given packet can be encapsulated into a frame. by attaching a frame header. Then it can be sent to the physical layer. Through the physical layer, it goes to a particular host. Okay, so there the frame is extracted from it, and then a packet within the frame is extracted, and then it is delivered. Is that clear? Hmm. Hello, class class. Hello. Okay. So is that clear? Hello. Please respond. Is it clear? What is the necessity of converting a given IP address into MAC address? Or see, in operating system you might have studied. Okay. So how do you convert a logical address into physical address? So here also it is same thing. IP address is logical address, whereas MAC address is physical address. Okay. So finally, every logical address has to be converted to physical address. So here it is done by ARP routing protocol. Is that clear? Any doubts? Please respond. Hello? Is it clear? Okay. Now, this is what is ARP packet format. See, because now what happens? Assume a packet has come to router. Now, the router, what it does, whenever a packet comes in, it checks in its table, mapping table, whether do I have the physical address for a given particular IP address. It checks. If in the table, if there is no physical address is not available, then what it does, it broadcasts that packet. It broadcasts that IP address, so that any host having that IP address, so it has to respond by giving its physical address. Okay, so that is what is ARP communication deals with, ARP packet. So this is the format of ARP packet. Okay, so this is hardware type, protocol type, then header length. This is packet length. Okay, packet length. Then the different operations. Okay, source hardware address, as you see here, source hardware address. Okay, so this is, see now totally, see here you have 4 bytes, so here 2 bytes. So totally what is the address of the, what is, how many bits are there in MAC? MAC address, IP address contains 32 bits, whereas MAC address contains 48 bits. 48 bits means 6 bytes. So 4 bytes here, 4 bytes here, and remaining 2 bytes here. Okay, totally it is the MAC address. So 4 bytes here, then remaining 2 bytes here. So total it is physical address. Okay, source protocol address. Okay, so these things. So what is important here is this MAC address is very, very important. Okay, so by using this ARP protocol for a given IP address, the router will obtain the physical address and then construct a frame and deliver it to the particular host. See, hardware type of physical network, Ethernet or whatever type of network it is. Protocol type is higher layer protocol, whether is it a IP layer or which layer. So then a header length and a protocol this one length. So then operation request or response. Because so suppose if a router wants to know the physical address of a particular host, it will broadcast the IP address. Okay, that is a request. It is requesting for the physical address of a particular host. So if a host is responding, so then this response bit should be 1. Okay, this operation should be 1. Okay, so then source and target physical address. Okay, fine. So Ethernet addresses are configured into network by manufacturer. As you know, this Ethernet address means again it is physical address only. Okay, they are inbuilt addresses. So you might have seen your NIC card. NIC card will be embedded with the physical address. Okay, So it is, these addresses are given by the manufacturer only, right? And please remember, across the globe, the physical addresses must be unique. Okay, the physical addresses must be unique. So IP address must be unique on a given internetwork, but also must reflect the structure of the internet. Okay, even the IP address also has to be unique, but within a network. Okay, see, suppose using NATing, if okay, once we study NATing we will come to know. So using NATing, the same IP addresses can be used in for two different hosts, so we will see that later. So most host operating system provide a way to manually configure the IP information for the host. Okay, this is manual IP configuration. So automatic host configuration is the DHCP protocol, which you will study later. Okay, so there is another protocol which is called as dynamic host configuration protocol. Okay, so for a given host, you can manually assign some IP address. So how do you assign it? How do you assign IP address to a given machine? Yes, can you tell me? Or how do you know the IP address of a particular machine? Please tell me. How do you know the IP address of a particular machine? Huh? Sorry. But in command prompting hogi, what you should type? ipconfig. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ipconfig if you type, so you will get the IP address of a machine. Okay. So even the physical address also can be obtained there only. Okay. So then, so now there are manual configuration, so it is some having drawbacks. Lot of work to configure all the hosts in a large network. Okay, so suppose I have only 10 machines, I can manually I can configure, because only 10 machines are there, I can assign IP addresses to that. But if there are 100 machines or 1000 machines in the network, so then for configuration it takes more time, it is a very tiresome job. Okay, for a larger network, so manually configuring the IP address, it is a tiresome job. So that is what is the main problem. Okay, that is why we go for automatic configuration. Automatic configuration. So that is what is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Okay, that's what is DHCP. So dynamic, there is a DHCP server which is responsible for providing the configuration information to the hosts, right? Okay. So what actually DHCP does is it automatically assigns the IP address. See, now the moment, okay, assume that you are connected to the network. You are connected to the network, right? The moment you switch on your machine, the moment you switch on your machine, automatically the request goes to the DHCP server. The request goes to the DHCP server. So that, so it is a request. Okay. So your machine is requesting, or so your machine acts as a client now, DHCP client. Okay. So your machine which acts as a DHCP client, it is requesting the DHCP server for some IP address. Okay. So then the DHCP server will respond with some IP address. Okay. So once that IP address is received, so that IP address is assigned to your machine. That IP address is assigned to your machine. That means every time you boot your machine, you get a different IP address. Is it clear? So using the DHCP. Okay. So DHCP server is responsible for providing the configuration information to the host. Configuration information is IP address. So there is at least one DHCP server for an administrative domain. Okay, in any network, so there can be at least one DHCP server. So DHCP server maintains a pool of available addresses. Okay, because it has to ensure that the same IP address cannot be given for more than one machine. Okay, so DHCP server always maintains a list of IP addresses so that are available. Okay, list of IP addresses so that it is allowed to assign to the requesting clients. See now, See, this is what happens. Here you have a host. Here you have a host. So this is your DHCP server. Okay. So DHCP server will be locally available. It is in your local network only. So you need not have to contact outside world. Okay. It will be available within the network only. A newly booted or attached host, okay, sends DHCP discover message. Okay. So because a newly booted host, so because it doesn't know where is the DHCP server. Okay. So what it does is it sends a DHCP discover message because it wants to know who is the DHCP server in the network. Okay. It just sends a broadcast message 255.255.255.255. This is broadcasting. Okay. So that broadcast, okay, so this is a DHCP discover message which is broadcasted. Now DHCP relay agent, okay, DHCP relay agent unicast, okay, this relay agent, so it will be working on the behalf of this DHCP server. Okay, it captures the broadcasted message and it unicasts the message to the DHCP server. It unicasts it to the DHCP server. Okay. So now after receiving the DHCP this discover message, so then DHCP server, okay, what it does, it it sends its IP address. I am the DHCP server here. So once this host knows about the DHCP server, so then it will send a request. Then now it has come to know that who is the DHCP server here. Okay. So once the host knows about who is the DHCP server here, its IP address, port number, everything. So then what it does, it sends a request. So I want IP address. Okay, so that again that message reaches this DHCP server and as a reply it sends the IP address. So that IP address is assigned to this host. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes, any doubts? How DHCP works? So it is again a client server model. So your machine, the process the running on your client on your machine, so that is a newly booted machine. So that is a client. Okay, it wants IP address. So first thing is it has to know who is the DHCP server here. Location of DHCP server. That is why it sends DHCP discover. Okay, it broadcasts it. So then this DHCP relay agent it captures it and then sends it to the particular DHCP server. So now it will send the reply. Okay, now it knows who is the DHCP server here. So then it sends a request to that DHCP server. Then as a reply, it gets the IP address. Yes, is that clear? Is that clear? ಎಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ 8 ಜನ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಒಬ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಆಗ್ತದ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಮೀ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಹ್ಮ್ okay so that is all about DHCP. Now moving on to ICMP protocol. So have you heard about this ICMP? Anybody? Have you heard about this ICMP? Have you ever used ICMP protocol? Hmm? Yes. Have you ever used ICMP protocol? Asma? Asma? Have you used ICMP protocol? Asma? Have you used ICMP protocol? Hmm? Madila? You are not used? No, no. You might have used ping protocol. Ping, have you test used? Ping, PING. What is the purpose of using ping? Aziza, Aziza, have you used ping? Sorry, it is not audible. Nikita, Nikita, ping have you used? Nikita, Kirti, Kirti, have you used ping protocol? Have you used ping? Have you used ping command? What is the purpose of using ping? You normally check, no? So just ping ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂತಿರಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. What is meant by pinging? Mhm. It is for checking the connectivity. Whether your machine is connected to the network you want to test. Suppose, assume that you are not getting connected to the network. So you want to check whether you have net connectivity or not. That is why you check. Okay. So suppose I want to know I am connected to SDMCT server or not. So what I will do from the command prompt, I will just say ping and then I will just say SDMCT dot AC dot in, or IP address also I can give. Okay. So what I will do, I will give ping and then followed by the IP address of SDMCT server. So if my machine is connected to SDMCT server, what it will do? Now echo request goes, okay, from my machine to SDMCT server. After receiving the echo request, right? So then the SDMCT server will reply. It is the echo reply. Okay. So that has to happen within TTL, time to live. Okay. So that has to happen within TTL. Okay. If my machine is connected, so then it will respond. Otherwise, so it waits for TTL amount of time and then it says, so you are not connected to the network. You are not connected to the network. Okay. So this ICMP protocol, so the ping protocol actually it uses ICMP. Okay. So ICMP, it is protocol, it is mainly meant for checking the connectivity. Okay, so ping what, so ICMP defines a collection of error messages that are sent back to the source host whenever a router or a host is unable to process an IP datagram successfully. Okay, if at all there are some networking issues. Okay, so whether you are not receiving the packets or some network problems are there, so then, so that's such for such purpose, so you can use ICMP protocol. Okay, so for you see, you will get a error message. Okay, so sometimes you try to visit a particular server. Okay, so you get some error number. Okay, what is that? 404, some number you get, no? So that is ICMP message only. Is that clear? Okay, you try to access a particular server. Okay, due to some problem in the network, you are not able to visit that server. Okay, at that time, some error message, some error message is displayed on your monitor. Okay, so that is nothing but the ICMP message. That is what is ICMP message. Is that clear? Yes or no? Is it clear? Okay. Yeah. Routing, forwarding. What is this? Why routing has come here? No, let me just finish this ICMP, right? So, okay, so there is an ICMP header. So we will see that, okay, because here he has not given that ICMP header. He has directly gone to the next topic, that is routing, right? So there are various messages, right? So for example, as I said, for ping, okay, ping protocol, it uses ICMP. Okay. Now what happens if your machine is connected to a server? Once you execute ping protocol, okay, ping followed by the IP address of the server. So then all the way from your machine, a request, echo request goes to the server. Then after receiving that request, so the server will respond. That's the response comes back to you. So like this, So 2 to 4 packets are exchanged. Now, okay, if the response should come within a TTL, within time to live period, right? So within that TTL it has to come. Okay, so then your machine is connected to the server, otherwise it is not connected. Okay, then proper error message depending on whatever the problem that is there, whatever the problem that is there. Okay, so every error, okay, every error is having some code. Okay, that code is displayed. Okay, that code that displays what is the problem in the network, so that problem is displayed. Is that clear? Okay, so now the session is getting closed in another 2-3 minutes. So if you have any doubts regarding, so three things that we have seen. One is, which are the three things that we have seen? Can anybody summarize? Which are the three things that we have seen today? Can anybody summarize? Which are the three things that we have studied today? Root aggregation, CIDR root aggregation. Okay, so now the question may be, there may be, okay, you may be given some set of networks. Okay, so you may be asked to convert these networks into a single block. Okay, so how do you convert the given IP addresses into a single block? Okay, so you need to solve problems based on that. So that we discussed it today. And then we have seen what are the problems with the manual configuration of the IP addresses, right? So that we saw. Okay, and then sorry, before that ARP protocol we saw. What is the necessity of converting a logical address into the physical address we saw, right? And then the problems associated with the manual configuration of IP address, and then so how to use DHCP server, how DHCP works, we have seen. So then finally ICMP. Okay, these are the things that we have seen today, right? So if any doubts are there, you can ask. If any doubts are there, you can ask, right? So tomorrow we'll start with the routing. So which is the next chapter. Just see this routing. Okay, there are various things, routing versus forwarding, right? So then how routing takes place, how the routing tables are maintained. Okay, so this is subnet. Okay, how routing takes place within this. Okay, we will see that. So there are two main protocols. One is distance vector routing protocol and link state routing protocol, right? We'll study them, right? So any doubts in whatever you have studied so far? Okay, so please try to respond. Please try to respond. Okay, so I'm closing the session now.